I'm gonna call the County Finance Committee meeting to order at, was 11:09. Mr. Nash has texted me and said that he will not be in attendance, that he had something come up, financial obligation, and we certainly understand that, but, I'm here and Mr. McCure here, and we will go ahead with staff and jump right in our budget. Mr. Manager, the floor is yours.
Jennifer has, with limited help of mine, very limited, quite frankly, she is presenting to you a draft balanced budget. And that is in the amount of $15,329,919. It balances in total. In addition, it balances by fund, which is one of Jennifer's things.
And one of my things too.
By fund.
Okay. All right, so I would think that the best thing to do is, if you haven't, I don't know what you're always prepared, you've got all this stuff here, you need to look at.
You want me to hit your highlight?
Well, what I want to know,
I printed you a new packet, because I know we said we'll just choose highlights, but there was so much added.
right,
That last one y'all got, I would just throw it
okay,
to the side, because
okay.
this has a lot more detail in it.
Yeah, obviously, I know there's been some increases, obviously, we wanted to do a few merit increases, so
We've got.
how are you paying for that?
We have put $10,000 in this proposed budget, and that can be divvied up.
$10,000 annually
In
for,
admin,
in the admin budget.
yes.
Okay, any other,
I also, if you look at your handout here,
Mhm.
from the discussion at the last meeting over the PD,
right,
I have given you copies. Remember, he gave us his proposed salary increases. I have plugged that in, but you'll notice a page behind it. A lot of people are hitting these milestones that he is proposing, so I went ahead and highlighted those so you could see who's in his proposed PD. Do you see which I'm talking about?
I do,
But that is in the PD budget as well. I did go in
Okay.
and amend that.
okay,
While we're talking about salaries,
right,
I would like to present to you our findings as a result of our police and employment committee.
okay,
That was held last week, Friday, I believe. And let me hang this up real quick. We presented to the the Personnel and Employment Committee, that we have a unique opportunity to deal with the dispatch center. I have met with, ad nauseum, the chief. I have met with Barbara Rothgill and with Louise, who are the two remaining dispatchers. I've met with Ronnie Rourke, I've met with the sheriff. They were mum on their opinions, but they do know what we're intending to do. The intention would be, and what was adopted, or recommended, I should say, by the Police and Employment Committee, was the following. On or about July 1st, and I say that because Louise could go sooner to work in the DMV side of things.
okay,
We would move Brittany into working with Brenda, because Brenda is a sole source of utility bills. Brittany will learn how to do the utility bills. In addition, I think ultimately she will also learn the cemetery and where to locate folks. In our savings and in our spreadsheet, you can see it's actually a net to us
The last page.
of about $3,100.
the net increase,
No, I think it's a net decrease.
okay, decrease, okay,
Is that correct, Jennifer?
That's in our.
okay,
With the understanding that Barbara Rothgill would replace Janet Matthews at the bus shop. Janet intends to retire. I have spoken to her, and she's agreeable to a July 1 retirement date. And I think that works for everybody, new budget time. However, Janet would like to work a few days a week. And I think it's not a bad idea with all new people down there kind of helping out. And that is included in this budget.
okay. And
To
you-
go forward, how far?
To go forward how far? I don't know. I guess that's kind of up to her. Because this is the equivalent of Everett Amos's old position.
Well, I guess the question I'm asking,
Certainly this fiscal year.
is this the starting of a part-time job for Janet?
In perpetuity,
That's right.
it could be. It could be.
I'm not sure that that's exactly what, well, that makes me stop and think a minute.
It would be a net to us about $5,000 a year for the
Yeah, that-
benefits and that. Because half of it ultimately would be paid
I
for
can
by the
see,
state.
I can certainly see.
So you're budgeting $5,900 a year for her,
Out of state,
part-time.
out of town funds.
right?
For the,
Okay, all right.
we talked that day on the phone and
Oh, yeah,
I told
I-
you about $10,000. It's actually about 11 and change.
But the danger I see is it's an ongoing expense.
It will,
But if I'm understanding this correctly, you're gonna have to come back to council if she wants to work more than 5911.
2 days a week.
But my point is, if she wants to turn it into a full-time job, you're gonna have council approval. We're submitting to budget her for, I don't know how many hours it is,
It
it's
would have to be
15,
subject to appropriation every year,
right,
like every other position.
Well, that's not, the way I understood it is, it would be discretionary on your part as to whether she worked or not, you know, I didn't draw the
I
final
would
line.
think certainly for one fiscal year, and then I think we need to evaluate it. She's retired. Does she want to continue working beyond this fiscal year? And I'll talk to Josh and say, is there value here? Is there value? I don't want to commit to anything beyond one fiscal year.
okay.
And I think she may want more of a commitment, but I don't think we're prepared. We've got to deal with an annual appropriation, especially a
Yeah,
part-time job.
sure.
So,
That's fine with me. So did Barbara's committee vote 3-0 to recommend it? Okay,
They did.
okay. I don't have a problem with it.
But this would close the dispatch center July 1st.
That would be the only one I've got.
Well, again, we're approving 591136
For 1 year.
for 1 year.
Oh, yeah,
And we're not approving anymore, so he
I-
can't turn this into a full-time job.
that's the reason I asked the question, see,
Am I correct? You don't have the authority to move her, to work her 5 days a week. After that 591136 is gone, you'd have to come back to
it's
us.
not 5 days a week, it's, she wants to work a day or so every week.
Right.
Now, that's not a full-time job, that's a continuation with a fill-in, help me
Okay.
along job.
Well, clarify your anxiety for me. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean,
Well, we've sat here and just discussed it.
Okay.
The fact is it gonna turn into,
If you guys say it's not, it's not.
if it's gonna turn into something that's on the budget every year, then it needs to be
But
turned.
I will tell you this, if it's something that I feel strongly that, my God, we need to, then I'll come to you.
that's what I understood. I understood that if there's some value, I think was the word he used, that he would come back to us
But
for next year
I
and
don't think she
say,
wants to work beyond 2
right,
days a week.
okay,
I think that's
all
her.
right.
She wants to be retired, and Dave Earl's retired, and they want to go play golf.
I just saw the flag and I said, okay,
Is the flag waved enough now?
yeah.
I don't think it's her intention to go beyond that.
All right, so I think we're fine. There's 5 of us that are fine with this. So, here's my question. Should we recommend to council that we close dispatching July 1? So I make a motion that we recommend to council to discontinue dispatching as of July 1.
Yeah.
And I will add too, before you finish, the fire department has completely removed itself from
Right.
dispatching. So
Right.
that's probably why we haven't heard much from the fire department. Walter Mack is uber and passionate. This will still be available as a backup if they lose power up there or something like that, as a backup. If they lose power, they can come down here and dispatch. But the fire department is not using them at all. Completely dispatch. 911 completely dispatched from up there.
My-
So this is a 50% only for the police department in Blackstone, but not 911 unless transferred. And look at the requirement. It's $84,000 to have part-time only for the police department. It's just not a functional, good value.
No. No.
I apologize to interrupt, but
Well, and I've heard semi-officially that the per capita rate be $5.
it's official. We
Okay.
adopted it.
Okay, all right. All right, so I move, you second? that takes care of that. We'll recommend that to council. And then we'll handle it in the budget as such, okay? All right,
Items of interest. On Friday, I received notice, and we have included in the budget, that the town received a $206,000 grant for sidewalks and curb and gutter and such things
208.
around. No, the total figure is 280, the grant is 206.
The total figure's 260.
Oh, excuse me.
208. Right?
208, excuse me, I got my numbers transposed. The total grant is 260, and we received a grant of 208.
208 for sidewalks?
Right there at the front of Riddlesworth. And it works out nicely because we're gonna do this basketball court. It goes up Harris Street, down Birch, and then back up to.
Have you seen this, Sam?
So I've got it here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the drawing should be attached. That's what
I
was approved.
like it.
Okay.
So are you gonna need council's approval to?
Once the Department of Transportation Board,
All right.
Commonwealth Transportation Board formally approved, then we'll have to.
Then we'll have to get, okay.
Well, because it's gonna cost us, what did you tell me,
I'm
$50,000?
52,000, I think is what I
Yeah.
told you.
Okay, all right, so
And that's included.
what I'd like you to do is on the page that you usually do for me for recommendations, just do it as an informational thing, okay? Just, I want, remind me to inform the council that we've been awarded this grant. Because I think that's a good thing. Improve that area
For the
for them.
basketball court and make the
Right.
parking lots look good and.
Okay.
It timely. It works well
Okay.
with the timing.
That includes antique lighting around?
It does, on that one side.
All right. That's just moving forward to me. I like it. All right, what's next?
Other items that we may need to discuss, and Jennifer can correct me if I am wrong. We do have the redo of South Main Street from Bagley to Sixth Street. That has been approved by VDOT, been approved by council, okay? And we have our money sitting aside, our cash to match is sitting in the VDOT line, okay? Before we bid it out, I would like to get Nottaway Avenue either further along to make sure we don't have some massive change order that we're gonna have to address. But South Main Street, did you include South Main Street? Nothing. We've got a $225,000 obligation on South Main Street, and the state's giving us $225,000. I don't wanna start it now. I really thought we would be farther along on it, but me getting sick has held up getting the easements. Do we want to include that project in next year's fiscal year? All it is a transfer $225,000 out of the reserve that we have.
What would be
Not-
what would be the downside in not doing it? I mean, why would you not include it if you've got the funds?
Because I wanted to get Nottaway Avenue further along, but we have not included, and I bring it to your attention.
Oh.
But if you don't do so,
Well, I had to haul a dog down there and back to the vet.
do we want to include it? And we certainly can. It's a
So it's
transfer.
a definite go. We've been approved.
It's been
by
approved.
VDOT.
The application has been approved. The state has approved their share.
But you gotta come up with a 225.
We have it.
Well,
Already
you have it.
sitting
Well, then
aside.
go and put it in there, wouldn't you say, Sam?
Yeah, that would need to be added. Okay.
Well, go ahead and put it in there.
We bring that to your attention because it's gonna fatten up the budget.
That's
It's looking
fine.
at 16,000, or
Well,
16
60 million, well, it is what it is.
Okay.
Well, how big the budget is really immaterial. It's what you do and how you balance it and how you offset everything is what this committee is all about.
I think you've talked about the personnel stuff.
Yeah.
The changes.
Mhm.
One thing I do want to present to you, you're gonna see next week in the, newspaper, an ad for summer help. Okay? What we're trying to do, we have two vacant, I assume two vacant, you've got one vacant for sure, part-time job, which is an annual year-round job. We wanna enhance our grass cutting efforts. They seem to, and grass spraying efforts, they seem to be a little on the slack side, and I'm not satisfied with it, but I think if I am prepared to be a little more insistent on the quality of grass cutting, I better have a plan B, and we're getting ready to get a plan B in place. I don't need any more money because we have this.
You got, yeah, you're gonna use that year-round position for summer help.
The summer.
Okay. It's kinda off the subject, but if you don't mind, I keep forgetting to ask you. when we got these new sidewalks on Brunswick Avenue, and you've got people have got pine trees hanging over, well, you
We need
know,
to trim. Yeah,
is it our response? We can trim those trees.
yeah, absolutely.
Between third and sixth is bad. You can't.
Third and sixth.
Yeah, it's different spots that are. There's a pine tree, an oak tree. You know, I walk
We
that,
can trim it. Yeah, no problem.
and I end up on the street to keep from having to get it. You know, if I'm sitting there playing with my iPod and you catch a pine needle in the face, it's not very fun.
Keep in mind, the sidewalks are on town property.
Okay.
So
All right.
trim all we need.
Okay.
Other excitement in the budget, there's really not a lot more excitement in the budget. I do have one water and sewer project expected, and that would be the replacement of water and sewer, which is horrible, in Amelia Avenue between Nottaway and the new bridge. And you know what's coming after that? I'm gonna come to you and ask if I can put curb and gutter and sidewalk down the street. And I don't wanna do
I
any of
want,
those.
that's something I wanted to discuss today.
Mhm.
is Sidewalk, curb and gutter, how far. I think we need a definite plan, we need limitations on it, and, we're making Jason Walker far too much money on concrete.
Okay.
You know what I mean, and that's not a derogatory statement, it's just, he just happens to be the one that's getting it.
Next year, the plan, so you know, would be ultimately, if we can get the water and sewer replaced on Amelia Avenue, and it is bad, we've got,
What were we talking about cash wise?
100,000 is what we put. I think it may be a little less, Andre's estimate was like 84,000, so it may be, we put 100 just in case we need some engineering.
No
costs.
grants or anything there.
Straight up cash.
Okay.
Alright.
And
And
then where's the 100,000 coming from?
water and sewer fund.
From reserves or from
Yeah,
fees collected?
Yeah, the revenues of the water and sewer fund.
Excellent.
Now, we may have a collapsed sewer that we don't expect like we did on High Street, but that is one that we're expecting, and the cost estimate from Andre was $84,000.
Okay.
The
All right.
plan for next year, so you know, would be Amelia Avenue, curb and gutter sidewalk, and then continue the sidewalk down Brunswick Avenue and finish Brunswick Avenue.
Okay, when you say continue the sidewalk, are you talking about southbound? You talking about into that vacant lot on the
No, we need to
western
do that block
side?
that Larry, the next block, the block north of that,
The 700 block.
I guess. Yeah.
On which side? On the east
We're
side?
already done on the west side, so it's
What,
gotta be
on the
east
east side,
You know
okay.
where Benji Dalton used to live?
Mhm.
And that's-
You, when you get down there to, the Watkins home,
I know it's,
what are you gonna do down there?
well, I don't know, because they're morbidly opposed, but if we handed Marcelo a sidewalk, I think.
No,
we'd gotta-
don't handle it, don't use
If
the
I handed
word.
Marcelo a sidewalk, I think we need to handle the Watkins as a sidewalk as well. And we gotta do the curb and gutter on that side too. She didn't want it, and,
I'm morally opposed to doing it, as you know.
yeah, but if you're gonna be consistent, you gotta be consistent.
That's exactly what I said before we did what you did.
What we did.
But no, we didn't have
We
anything to
did.
do with that.
Okay.
The end result would be, I'm not, until you guys are ready to do the Watkins thing, I mean, it's just gonna be
Y'all-
one hell of
y'all-
a scratch.
As far as I'm concerned, you've opened Pandora's box again, as far as sidewalks are concerned.
But remember, it doesn't cost the
Wrong.
Watkinses anything. It used to cost. Now, we.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when we have a stampede of Brunswick Avenue residents sitting here wanting their money back for what we just did prior to the policy change. Cause I would've been one,
But remember, no one on Brunswick Avenue has paid for sidewalk. There was sidewalk already in place. Nobody on Brunswick Avenue paid for sidewalk except, you know, the parsonage up there? And Chris York, where they went around the corner, they paid that extra for going around the corner.
alright,
That was, I think, the one block that they, because it was broken up nasty sidewalk, literally throughout the whole project area.
alright.
That's the plan.
You
There's another
got,
block of sidewalk there, and
Well,
you got I'm just looking at your bullets here. The fire department insurance cost, does that go up or down, or what does that
I
do?
had left out, I think, because they've got like auto insurance and, you know, their liability insurance, I had left out liability, so it went up a little bit.
Okay. What is a leaf machine?
We had 2 leaf machines,
Right.
and only one of them's worth a doodly for it.
Yeah, we could probably use 4 of them, couldn't, you know,
To
so.
get them up quick, yeah, you can use more of them. I'd
Um,
like to replace
what do they,
one of them.
what do they cost?
Well, the bids or the cost estimates that David got for me, between 30 and 45, depending on how stout. I think we put 45 in, but we can go as low as $30,000 based on the distance.
This might be off the subject, and it could be a whole council discussion, but here's what I view. You got a man driving the truck, and you got 2 guys. You got 2 guys raking up into the machine, all right? And then when the truck gets full, you unhook the machine, and 3 guys go off to unload. I mean, it's the most inefficient thing in the world. I mean, to me, I would keep the machine running all the time. So what do you need to do? Buy another truck
We
to
got,
fill up?
we got multiple trucks. We ain't got multiple people.
Oh,
We
okay.
only got the 3 guys.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, why can't you, won't you get 4 guys, you know, and
2 go and 2
one go dump and 3 keep working.
if we've got another container. Yeah.
Right, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we need to get to.
Another truck.
Well, but I mean, that's what we need to get to if we're gonna keep up with it, and you know what I'm saying?
We're not keeping it up with the now because we only had 1 leaf truck or leaf
Yeah,
machine
but
that
if you,
worked.
if you had the 4th man
We've got 2
and,
trucks.
and ran a tandem,
We've got 2 trucks to put leaves in.
well, if
Okay.
you ran a tandem operation,
Mhm.
you would double what you're doing now.
Yeah, we've
Well,
only got 1 working leaf machine.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
Well,
I'd
let's
like to
fix
get
that.
the second leaf machine and put the second truck that we've got.
Right,
It's not as good a truck and it's old and it's beat up but it does have the box on the back. We can put 2 crews out.
and you could keep up.
Gotta have 3 people on the crew, 1 handling the nozzle,
Yeah.
1 guy raking and 1 guy driving.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Well, but what I would like to see is that you send, you know, 5 men or 4 men, send 4 men with two units,
Mhm.
and you got 1 guy back and forth dumping, and you got that machine
How long does
running.
the dump take?
Should take long to go
No, how long? About.
15 minutes.
That- Okay,
So
and
you got 2 men that are going with the driver, doing absolutely nothing.
Smoking cigarette.
15 is usually 30, because it takes me 6 minutes for me to get home.
Mhm.
It takes my helper 12. You follow me?
30 minutes to go do
Yeah,
it. But
right.
At the end of the
So
day, you
you-
gotta have 2 crews.
Yeah, but if you factor that into how many trips you make, it's incredible. It's a tremendous amount of time. So
The more efficient way to do it is to buy what I think is gonna be a pretty expensive truck that has an automatic nozzle and all that kind of, that's,
I ain't worried about that. I'm just worried about. I just want leaf machines running all the time.
we need 2 machines on the road all the time. And right now, we got 1 machine.
Okay. So you're putting in $45,000 to repair it or to replace it
That's
or
a new one.
new? Well, then I'm all for that. So that's in this budget.
And it's in the budget, and we
Okay.
can go lower,
Okay.
because the cost estimate from the salesman was 30 to 45.
Okay.
And that was the difference between a gas Kubota and a diesel John Deere. And I don't know if we need a John Deere, I think we can go with a lower price product.
Right. What's
But I think the
this?
diesel makes it work a little better.
What's the alley storm drain? I would get whatever you feel like is going to last the longest and give you the better
I think the
service.
diesel will last.
Well, I'd get that.
But we can get a Kubota diesel, which is not as expensive as a John
Okay.
Deere. Now, the alleyway,
Hmm.
that was included in our downtown renovation project. And it's a drainage project. If you guys are familiar with Irby Moncure's building, Acapulco, all that down through there, if you get a hell of a rain, right in the back door, okay? Not been as bad. And the Cannons brought me out there one time, probably a year or 2 after I started working here. That was in the downtown project that we did not receive. And what I'm trying to do is eliminate that altogether as a drainage issue. The project actually started before I came to town. Larry had a set of, there's a set of.
Yeah,
drawings on.
that was all part of that plan. Yeah.
And Larry actually already had it done. The plans are already prepared, and what I told Irby and Shirley Ann and the Cannons, we'll put this in this grant application, and hopefully the state will pay for it. We didn't get funded, and so I've put it in the budget
Okay.
of the street department.
That's fine. I'm going down to Amelia Avenue. We talked about depreciation expense of 111,018. What fund?
That is water and sewer.
That's water and sewer. What are we doing in electric? Anything? or the rates, rates,
120 something.
Well, come over and follow down what you, follow your thinking.
Electric is
I'm getting lost on what
124.
you're doing, that's all
no,
right.
that's fine, sit down,
I'm good.
We put 124 in the electric as a depreciation figure,
okay,
and this will be the first year we're putting a depreciation figure in for water and sewer.
okay. So, and you said 111 in water and sewer, 124, what, there's no other funds, garbage takes care of itself, doesn't it? Are we accumulating any funds in the garbage to buy a new truck, or,
I can't say that we are specifically doing that. What we're doing in the garbage is where we went up to the 14, okay, dollars.
Right.
And we would buy a new garbage truck. And we bought a garbage truck this year. It's here. We paid for it out of our $140,000 annual contribution to a capital fund.
okay? So garbage is paying for the trucks, not general
You can
fund.
say that.
Okay, that's what I want to
We
know.
paid cash for that sucker.
Transfer to the reserve, 203,488, what does that mean? That's the water and sewer and electric, is that the total?
Water and sewer.
Water and sewer, I thought, okay, so you're actually putting 111 aside for depreciation, and you're transferring 203 to water and sewer reserve.
Yes.
Wow.
But you know what happens to that?
Oh, well then that's not doing it then, then we
You
need
know
to
what
address,
happens to that
well then we need to address that.
Not really though, Philip, because we've got budgeted for the bond payment.
You do?
We've got budgeted for the bond
I mean,
payment,
we know
but I
it
can tell you the
happens.
cash flow during the year,
Right,
this week, we will have that 285 payment prepared.
okay,
We'll have that cash set aside. So we've got 5 more payrolls before July 1. We've got 3 in June and 2 in May. And we'll continue at $27,000 per pay period. And that's just the way I've been doing it since we got here. We pay ourselves and then we pay the bills, okay? And we divided up what we wanted to try to accomplish this year with our big payment, August 1st, is $27,000 a pay period. And that will approximately put enough money in, if you look at our chart, we've got $40,000 in capital that we've already put into this year. We will put another 100, and then we've got a water and sewer payment, which we think we'll have, so you'll have about, what's 27 times 5, 125, about $130,000 that we will pay ourselves before the end of the fiscal year.
Okay,
Majority of which
so-
will go into capital.
my question is number one, is what are we recommended to have in water and sewer reserves?
$1 million plus. I mean,
Okay,
I
so
can tell you
$1
that.
million plus. So after you make this bond payment, what are you gonna have? Zip.
Down
Zip.
to nothing.
So what are we doing? Okay, well then I'm just asking, what do we need to do? What kind of
Build a reserve.
plan do we need to do to get to that you've got
But
one?
you can't, we're putting money into the electric reserve. We put $300,000 in there this year. We'll do the same again next year, but I think you do one or the other. My God, you can't do them both all at one time.
Well, the only way you can do what I'm talking, I've been talking this till I'm screaming till I'm blue in the face. If you don't put depreciation in as a budget item,
Water and sewer depreciation is about $600,000 a year.
but if you don't put this in, all you're doing is using the money you put in to pay off the
See,
bills. And when
that-
you get through,
that-
you're back to
That's what we're
zero.
doing.
I understand. I don't want to sound gruff about it, but it's not a lie, but it's not the truth. I don't know what you want to call it. Is it an exaggeration? But if you're putting $400,000 or $500,000 aside to make a bond payment, that's not reserves
It's not a reserve.
because it's an expense. What reserves is money that you have set aside when you have a catastrophic problem comes up. We don't have to go and borrow $400,000 or $500,000 to fix a collapsed sewer. That's what reserves are. So yes, I understand you're doing a tremendous job with electric, but we have an obligation, and I know there's some squeamish people sitting up here, but we have an obligation that for a town that's been incorporated over 100 years, that we don't have the necessary reserves. So we either, Paul Lee comes up here, we spend $20-some thousand, he's well versed to the community, knows what he's talking about. This council has voted 7-0 to fund these things. So we either do what we said we're gonna do, or we don't.
Yours would be good, excellent plan if we had $3 million in reserves today.
I think that's literally the minimum.
Hold it, stop, with no requirements on it whatsoever.
Right. It's not reserved,
And
it's
you
not,
can use the money that you're putting in there now to pay for these things, and you were back to zero with those things.
Now, one,
So what,
so if I elect to make my house payment annually, which you're an idiot, I do it bi-monthly, it saved me 19 months on a 15-year mortgage. But let's say I decided to do my house payment annually, okay? And I put $1 a month in there, and I've got $8 in there. That's no household reserve. That $8 is already spent. It's sitting in the bank, waiting on March 31st to come for me to make the payment. But that's not reserves. And I'm not trying to buck you here, but sooner or later, it's our responsibility as a council that if we're not mandated, but it's highly suggested that we have $1 million in the sewer and reserve fund, you get it up to $400,000 and you write a check for it and you got zero, then that's not reserves. That's a budget. That's to me, in my opinion, that monthly contribution toward that bond payment is no different than paying Andre's salary. It's a monthly expense, and that's the way we need to start looking at it.
we've talked about it every year for.
Okay, well then, now's the time to do it. But while we have the opportunity. I mean, I'm not talking about jacking up rates 10%. I'm talking about if you started with a 1% increase, and take that 1% religiously and put it in there. This is for reserves. What would a 1% increase be, roughly?
Can we say 38? No, that's electric.
Yeah.
I don't know, we gotta figure out.
Well, is it $15,000, $20,000?
Yeah, it would be a little less because,
Okay.
our total budget's about $2.5 million.
Okay.
10% would be a $250,000,
Okay.
roughly. So 1%.
1%,
$25,000.
$25,000. Okay.
That's a rough estimation.
Okay, so my point is, if you put $25,000 in there and you don't touch it, in 10 years from now, it's $250,000. That's better. I mean, that's better than nothing. But I don't know where in the world.
Here's what got you this year. I'll tell you right quick. We would have been fat city, or much better, but if you remember, we borrowed that $2.5 million last year, and we didn't start collecting that until October, November. So we only had 6 months, and we had to make a payment in February.
Yeah.
So we had way short when we estimated that rate increase of 12.5% was for a full 12 months. We started collecting it in the November bill, and we had to make a payment in February. So we had to pull basically $100,000.
Okay,
of
well then that
cash
makes it easy
out.
for me. I'm recommending a 2% increase in the water and sewer bills to, number one, offset that, and number two, to begin a program to fund these depreciation funds and these reserve funds. Okay? Do you have a problem with that?
no,
Is that a
I'm just wondering if
Well,
if it's enough.
no, hold on, sir.
I'm just wondering if it's enough.
Well, I'm willing to start there.
Well, I see what you mean. You can't, it would be nice if we could go 10-15% and get it over with, but you can't. And it's a matter of what will the traffic bear, I guess. But you're right, we have to start. We have to stop calling reserves or expense money or reserve.
They're not. You can stick them in that account. But that's not. So I would say if 2% would, whatever roughly gives you 50 grand. Okay, if it's 2 or 3%.
Pretty close to 2%.
Okay,
I'll go along with that.
All right.
I wish it was more, but.
it's 50. Whatever 50,000 is.
Yeah.
Okay, we want $50,000 out of the rates to be put in a reserve account, and to help
In
offset.
addition to what we've shown.
Right. Plus, that'll offset the 6 months that we didn't get any extra
didn't
revenue.
collect for
Okay,
it.
and that'll help with that.
Do we need to label that depreciation in the reserve account?
Yes.
As opposed to regular reserve?
Yeah, we'll have the 50 in there. I mean, we can
Yeah.
show it to you, we'll highlight it or whatever.
Well, but that way we know what we've got through the building up.
Right. Right. Okay, and so you're doing that with electric. Electric's doing that.
And we've got two
How are you funding this, what's in electric right now? Roughly.
317,000
Okay.
reserve.
Okay, and how did it get there?
It's the first thing we did this year, is we chopped money in that electric reserve.
All right, but where's it coming from? Is it coming from electric rates?
I would assume so, it just, we take it out of the checking account.
I
Yeah.
understand that. You're a Larry Palmore guy. This is all one big cookie jar. All right, I think we're all a Snickers bar and a Hershey's
I
bar.
can't tell you exactly where it's
Okay.
coming from, but we assume it's coming from electric.
You understand? That's who you got up here, and we love you, but we're kind of
$27,000 a pay period we take out.
Okay.
In
Yeah,
the
but-
appropriate location.
Well, that's great, it's great, it's done us wonders, it's gotten us to where our nose is at the level of the ground. And we're not out of the hole, but we're not bleeding to death.
We'll do that again, that'll be that or water and sewer, we'll focus on certainly
But
one or the other.
But
And
we're
if you
doing,
guys,
but doing what we're doing is, the fallacy of it is, we're that close, always, to a disaster.
Okay, I would love to get to the point, and this might rub you the wrong way. When she pays the bills, that she writes out, she transfers $5,800 into electric, $4,200 into water and sewer, and it does that.
we do that before we pay the bill,
Okay, well then that's fine.
but we
So
focus on one thing.
that's going to be my recommendation. I mean, I don't need council's approval. It'll be in the budget. So if you're fine with that, you bake in 2% water and sewer.
Now, according to our budget calendar, you wanted a handout for this May meeting? to
If
give
we
to
can.
council. Do you want that 2% in that handout? Or are you gonna,
If you're gonna
Yeah.
recommend it,
Yeah.
let's do it.
so, okay.
And we need to have a conversation with the 8 of us that,
Now, do you want them to get a full package?
No.
No.
no, you and I will sit down, the 3 of us, maybe sit down and make something like this and say, this is where we are. These are the changes, these are the increases, this is how we've handled it. We'll just give them a report. But for you to cut down a couple of trees and give them this, I don't see any sense in it.
Because it's not gonna get ready.
It's not gonna be read anyway, and that's not derogatory, but when I was a member of council, that's what I wanted to know. How you paying for it, what rates are going up, anybody, the highlights. To me, I never got that, and it wasn't fair to me. And that's one of the reasons why this second council term, I lobbied Billy so hard to get the chair, so I wouldn't be handed this and you figure it out yourself. Because there was a lot of stuff that could go in there, and if is this your second budget with us? Yeah, you remember we spelled it out. And we had some disagreements, but in the past, let's just say Rescue Squad. Rescue Squad would have got cut, and unless you were astute, you didn't notice it. And we're not gonna play ball like that. We're not playing ball that way. I envision this committee is to do this work and say, here's the things we're changing. Do you have a problem with it? So I would like for us,
That's transparent.
right. That is transparency. That's what I like.
So we'll
That
get
is
together.
transparent to people like myself.
That's correct.
Don't read this.
Yeah, no, next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm second honeymoon. All right? But Tuesday, I could certainly put some time away Tuesday.
Okay.
All right?
Bucket truck.
Bucket truck, okay?
We talked a little bit the other day about the benefits or the lack of benefits for financing. So we got Altech to give us a price quote for purchase, and they gave me a price quote if we were to finance, and what those payments would be for a 60 months is 5 years, and 72 months is 6 years.
So, and this dollar is, you pay them $1 and you own it. This is finance, it's not
These
a
are finance
lease.
costs.
This is finance, it's not a
If
lease.
you buy it outright, that's the number.
Okay.
And I need to buy a bucket truck. Is in the budget for next year?
See, here's where I
The way we do
stand.
it is what I need y'all to help me.
I could care less if you, what kind of rate is it, you know?
I don't know right offhand.
I hope it's not 20%.
No, that's the buyback.
I gotta call the guy, find out what the rate is.
Okay, if it's a reasonable rate and she's writing a check out of the electric funds to pay for it, I don't have a problem with it. Okay? But if you're just finding, if electric is not buying the bucket truck, I got a problem with it. Does that make sense?
We can pay ourselves back. I've got $300,000+. You can buy the bucket truck out of that.
I understand that, but
That's
we're
what
going
we're
back,
saying,
well, we're supposed to have over $1 million in there. So let's don't back up. So this is an expense that you're gonna have to add. You need a bucket truck, you don't have in the budget money coming in monthly to take care of
I
it.
expect to do that before the 1st of July.
Well, then,
And then what you need to do is decide which way you're gonna buy it, put it in the budget, and decide whether the money that you pay for it is going to yourself or going to
well,
them.
now there's one problem with that. Okay? We have had commitments from this council before. We would do something like this, and then when we go to put it in the budget, to back out on us.
Don't put it in the budget. I need
Okay.
to buy it now. I need to make an order on May 15th.
That's fine. That's fine. And we finance
Make
it, and you,
payments on
so,
it, we do have
so where does the money come?
Yeah, the payments need to be in the budget.
My question is,
We got two
I,
places to
I'm,
pay for
I am a horrible communicator,
it. You've got two places to pay for it. Bill.
okay?
You can either pay for it cash out of the reserve fund. You can pay cash out of our capital
Is the,
improvement fund.
let's stop, let's hit it one point at a time. Is the electric fund adequately
Funded.
funded?
For what purpose?
What do
Buy the
you,
truck or to?
no,
No,
no.
No, you know that. It's
Okay, well, then that option's out.
Okay, then I've got $178,000 in the capital fund of the town
Mhm.
that we buy equipment from. We bought our garbage truck from that pool. You can buy it out of that, or you can outright finance the thing and make the payments out of the electric fund. And that would be included in the budget. You get three options.
Well, what, okay, you said that you got some money set aside for capital. Is there any other, is that are you saving that money for a fire truck, or what is that money earmarked for today?
140,000, it's not earmarked for anything.
Just sitting there.
It can be used for Dan's switchgear, it can be used for,
For your leaf collector, for
Leaf
this,
collector,
I mean,
next year.
you got,
there's,
what he's trying to say and what I'm hearing is, out of that money you got set to capital fund, if you use it all on this, you've got no money left.
we gotta start over next year,
I understand that, and where did the money come from?
out of the general fund.
Out of general fund, buy an electric truck. I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna cuss, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to keep that from happening. So what I'm asking, what you need to
About
do,
6 cents on the tax, on the electric rate then.
then that's what you need to do, and it needs to be put in there, and by the time you get this one paid for, you're gonna need another one. Right.
Every 15 years, so, no, we put them on a 15-year rotation.
Okay. All right, but let me ask you this. You buy this one and you finance it for 72 months. The one you got now will probably be ready,
It was purchased in 2011.
so that's my point.
26 would be the expected date,
2026.
2020.
So you would have a break, but you could stick the money in there, set it aside, so you'd have it. So then that one you'd pay for with cash.
Okay.
So let me just see. Let me just see if everybody's understanding me. You raise the rates to accommodate a $3,000 a month payment. Okay?
No, you don't need to raise the rate to accommodate a $3,000 a month.
Where's the money come from?
It would just reduce the contributions into the reserve. What's the difference?
Because you just said that the reserves aren't adequately funded.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you. If the intent is,
This needs to be a line item
it'll
issue.
be a line item.
It needs to be an expense in the electric department that it costs $3,000 a month for us to have bucket trucks. Okay, so here's my point. Let me try to tell the story one more time, see if you agree or disagree. Let's say you go with a 72-month financing, if it's a decent rate, and it,
$2,500 a month.
okay, well, okay. 29. So you put $3,000 a month in the budget for bucket trucks. All right, and you pay this payment and out of that money. And then that so we're in 17, so in 23 that's paid for. That's paid for, right? So, but you keep putting $3,000 a month in there.
But keep in mind, we paid off a truck in 14, and we never adjusted.
You won't let me finish my story. So you go to 72 months, all right, and then 2023, it's paid for, and you don't need another truck until 2026.
Expected.
So 3 years, you're sticking this money in there. You're putting $36,000 a year in there, which would be $96,000. So what would happen is when you go to buy one, you put the $96,000 down, right? And then you'd go to where you'd have a $1,500 a month payment, and you're putting $3,000 in there. So when this truck that you buy today, in how many years you say, 15?
15.
By then you'd have the cash. You'd buy it with cash money, and it came out of the electric. Okay, then the other one wouldn't be due. Before you know it, the $3,000 a month, you're buying them. You've got the money to pay for them.
I got a question.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you just buy it for cash?
Why? Because I'm tired of general fund paying for electric. I'm tired of general fund paying for things that it shouldn't be paying for. These things should be. That's the way that you're going to get your reserves. Okay. You're calling reserve money operating money, and it's not. It's not a lie. It's not the truth. It's a deception.
Do it. I respectfully have a different idea we can do it, but we will do it your way. Absolutely.
It's not my way. It's not my way. It's seven
I
folks.
cannot fathom why you would unearmark money for capital purchases, why you wouldn't use that and pay 7 years of interest when you can pay yourself back and save yourself the interest.
Okay, where's
For a
it?
principle,
But you're
I
doing it.
understand,
You're
but
doing it
you're-
out of the general fund.
Just to make a point. Just to make
No,
a
I
point.
ain't making a point.
That's-
It's
why
my
would you
goal.
do that?
It's my goal that these enterprise funds take care of themselves.
Let me see
That's
something.
been my goal since I've been on the council.
Multiply that payment at 29 or whatever, times 72.
2960.
Times 72.
960.
72.
3,000
22.
times 60.
You're spending $35,000 in interest
Okay.
over 7 years.
All right. Okay.
Because we
Okay.
don't want-
Okay. Well, let
but
me
it
ask.
doesn't reduce
Okay.
at all.
Well, let me
the
ask
amount
you
of money
this.
that goes in the electric
Well,
reserve.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If you pay for this, you pay for this truck with cash, and you raise the rates to whatever you need to do to add the $3,000 a month, which is minuscule. It'd be a quarter of a
We
point.
find it, no problem.
Okay, I'll go along with that.
Do we need to pay ourselves interest though?
No,
We don't need to pay
no,
ourselves.
no. I don't.
We
I
can
don't.
take the principal amount.
Right,
178 divided by 70.
So let's look at the scenario differently, okay? So you got a truck. The truck that you have is slated for 2026.
2019 is when Dan had requested a new one.
Tw-
Next year, next fiscal.
No. Is that the one we're talking about buying?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only a year from being
Okay.
replaced.
Okay. So the other bucket truck, when does it need to be replaced?
Bought it in 11, so 2026.
2026. Okay. So if you stick $2,000 a month into a bucket truck replacement fund,
Sure.
okay, then that would take care of it.
That's Sam's plan. Pay ourselves back.
Okay, but you're paying it. But okay, so then you need to plug in $2,000 a month in the electrical budget for bucket trucks. Okay, are you agreeable to that? And she sticks $2,000 a month
It's not
aside
gonna be for a bucket truck, it's gonna be for something else.
for equipment.
Yeah.
What other? Okay, so now tell me what other kind of equipment. I mean, if you put $2,500 a month and stuck that in,
The only other big capital project is that damn switchgear that's 30 years old. That
Well-
ultimately needs to be replaced. It's not
That's-
hurting anything now, but if that sucker doesn't start,
well, I don't mind tackling that as a capital project. Okay, but I'm just saying, if you put $2,500 a month for trucks. Will that cover it? What are the other trucks that need to be replaced?
Would be good on
See,
garbage trucks.
the electric, this is what, you're asking me what my problem is. The electric customer is basically buying the damn stuff at wholesale. They're not paying all the expenses, okay? The trucks, I know you factor in the men and all of that, but general fund can't keep buying trucks for electric.
Our budget that we presented to you, because we want a balanced fund.
Right.
I'm not a balanced fund guy. You are, Jennifer is.
And,
I like the thing at the end of the year to balance, because we have different priorities through the course of the year.
okay,
As Jennifer just pointed out, to balance the fund, we have an extra expenditure of $205,000 for equipment. Here's your payments right there.
okay,
Unearmarked,
okay.
unless it's for the switchgear.
That's what I didn't know what the.
What's the switchgear gonna
price
cost?
was.
Yeah, we bid it out last year, we didn't do it. We thought it was gonna be about 135, and it ended up 285.
I think when we talked, when Dan was here for the department heads, it was only 125 in there, and I knew it was more. but
It's 285. But during the course of the year, we can get that done.
Okay.
No problem. But to balance the fund, she put a $205,000 machinery and equipment purchase.
Okay, that's fine, that's
We
fine.
just don't have that cash represented right now.
Okay, but that's fine, but I'm asking you to put, okay, what would it
You
cost?
make your lease payments out of that 205.
Okay, what does it cost, what do you think it costs a month to keep up the electric fleet? $3,000 a month? Because we don't have that in there as an expense, and it is an expense,
But keep in mind, part of your depreciation is equipment, right?
okay?
Part of your depreciation is equipment.
How much have you got back?
25 for
125,
depreciation.
okay.
Okay. We'll put that aside. My goal this year, I don't think we're gonna fully fund it. My goal this year would be not to touch your electric fund, okay? Leave it at 3 and change. Try to get the switchgear done, okay? And still put a couple $100,000, it's actually $300,000 what we budgeted to put in the reserve fund. So we get $600,000, and get the switchgear done. I don't, and if you balance the fund, you don't need to do much. You really don't. Honestly, you don't need to do a whole lot if you're buying out of the electric fund. But the general fund's gonna be sucking buttermilk. Okay, now we had a good tax increase last year, and we really don't have capital purchases. We bought 2 pickup trucks recently, 2 police cars, and 2 pickup trucks.
But you know you've got another fire engine on
Well, we got the air packs. I mean,
Air
The
packs.
air packs are
Yeah.
in here.
Air packs, we didn't touch air packs. Didn't touch them.
That's been.
Okay, when are
I think
the,
we got 3 more years to buy those things.
and how much is it?
$300,000.
$375.
Then we have a
But that's not
fiduciary responsibility to begin saving for them now.
We buy
Did we
the,
not say that a year ago?
you buy the bucket truck. Well, the bucket truck came upon us. That wasn't until next fiscal
Well, the
year.
only thing I'm asking you to do is buy the bucket truck with cash and add $2,500 a month to the
No problem.
expenses on electrical. Okay.
And keep these other numbers the same, so
Le-
is that,
Yes.
are we gonna
Oh.
calculate in the,
Yeah, you're gonna have to add it. You may have to raise the rates 0.2%, whatever,
yeah, see, we got a line item for the bucket truck stuff, so he's saying put in.
You have to put, you don't need to put the cash in, because we're gonna make the order this year. It may have to be accrued back, but the PO will be issued this fiscal year. You'll accrue it back, so the only thing you need to do is put the lease payment, 25 times 12.
Yes.
is
Okay.
what you need to do.
Calculate up.
Right.
What the rate.
What the rate increase would
to
be.
cover
About-
that.
Okay.
about a percent.
I'm more comfortable with 3,000, so do, what is that,
That's a percent.
okay, that's
12
fine.
times 3 is 36, and that's
Yeah,
virtually 1.
do that, and then it's just because and I don't mind explaining it to the council, we cannot continue to have the general fund purchasing equipment for enterprise funds. It doesn't make sense, you never get to where you wanna be, but you've sold me on going, take that, but put it back, okay,
The same model.
okay.
But we gotta start dealing with the air pack.
Okay, so we're,
We're still 3 years out, but I haven't touched it.
yeah, but you talking about $135,000, $140,000 a year you gotta come up with.
Here's your capital.
Now, are we finished paying, have you paid for Nottaway Avenue?
Yeah, we got the cash.
Okay, all right,
We have
so,
the cash for South Main. What I don't wanna do is bid out South Main until I'm sure we're not gonna end up finding a hell of a problem on Nottaway Avenue. They're about a third of the way done with the project. And we've got the cash set aside for both, and we've got some cash set aside. Now, we've got a June payment from VDOT coming, and we'll leaven that thing in the VDOT, in the street fund, to make sure we have enough to make the commitments that we've made with Tar and Gravel and with Patchen.
all right, so the four of us need to sit here right now and take the bull by the horns and decide how much money we're gonna set aside for the air packs this year.
This coming year,
Yep,
we've got 140, I assume, in the capital fund.
but you're gonna use that to buy that, what?
We've got the 140 today.
Okay,
That'll be this fiscal year.
Okay.
We'll pay for it out of the current fiscal
Alright.
year, but I can tell you she smoked. I mean, we started zero,
Okay.
July 1.
all right,
Well,
We started
that's
zero
what we've
July
been
1.
talking about,
Yeah.
back to zero.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, which we can't, so we're gonna have
Say
to,
put the whole 140 toward, save it towards airbag.
For next year.
Capital.
Yeah.
For F.
Go buy a CD. That's how you keep it spinning. Go buy the hemp CD, and that's the end of that. Okay? That's how you don't spend it. Put it in a CD. Let's have a money market account every year. But that means, and we're pretty good on vehicles, I'll be honest with you.
All right.
Little stuff here and there.
okay.
$5 bucks.
What about, okay, so we got that done, what about fire trucks? When's the next fire truck gonna hit you upside the head?
$500,000, I don't know.
When?
I don't have a plan for that.
When do you think that's,
Let me go get my capital improvement plan.
all right,
Whatever they think they can get one.
That's the one that only goes down the county. I'm kidding. It's an engine, so it would be used in town.
you gotta, we have got to put away some money for one or the other. I mean, he's good at taking $140,000 and stretching it 2 or 3 different ways, but, you know,
But once
I
you
can't
put it
do
in
it.
reserve and turn around and use it on a current bill, it's expense money. It's not-
exactly, that budget, you need to have a line item for that damn bond payment.
And I'm gonna tell you.
Can you
what,
do that?
Who does that extra?
Oh, do you have you do, good,
The
okay.
county does that. They put their money back and that's it.
All right.
Their reserve money.
So right now, it sounds like whatever you budgeted for capital is just air packs for the next 3 years. So now we gotta think about when is the next fire truck staring us in the face and how much? One of the two gotta be addressed this year.
And do we have water tanks coming up again?
Maybe water too. We got the maintenance in the water.
Inspection or big,
No, I.
Well, we borrowed the money for all, we borrowed, we straight on water and sewer.
well, then we got Pickett, for God's sake.
Well, I don't think anybody's ever gonna address that until it just smacks us side the head. Yeah, I can't get them to pay the damn bills, let alone try to take that
Now,
on.
you just said the magic
Huh?
word. You just said the magic word. That's what reserves are for.
Well, thank you.
I mean, not for current everyday stuff, but stuff that might come up and smack you upside the head.
I'm getting there.
While he's digging that up,
Mm-hmm.
if you've got air packs taken care of with the 140, and you need a bucket, you need a $500,000 truck in 6 years, then we need to say, we gotta set, what is the math, 50 grand a year? Is that right, or 60? 60. You're gonna have to put 60 grand a year.
Is this insurance thing that the fire department's turning in, is that,
It ain't amounting to the fuel that I know of.
Project to be, the air packs are to be completed by 2020
Okay,
per the fire department.
okay,
375.
all right. You got that, you just gonna set that aside, and you're gonna set that aside with the capital improvement money and buy a CD for the, how much was it,
Well, we've got an
375?
apparatus fund,
Okay.
which is in a separate, we take the 25,000 from the county, so we don't spend it.
Is there any money in that?
About 50,000.
Okay.
A couple years worth.
All right.
We can double check, but I'm gonna guess about 50,000.
All right, so what was the air pack total cost?
370.
375, and you've got, let's say you got 50 in there, and you're gonna contribute 140 this year? Is that correct?
140.
140? So that's 190, so roughly 180, okay? So
Yeah, a couple
one,
years.
one more, yeah, 2 more years, that's done. Buy the CD or whatever you wanna
Put
do.
it in a money market
Right,
account, so-
and then when he says I gotta buy them, you can buy them. Okay, I'm fine with that. Now, let's address the fire truck.
Fire truck, 2020, same year,
2020, same year, and how much?
550.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so now,
I would say both of these activities are eligible for grant money.
I understand that, but you can't sit here and tell the council we need to buy a truck, and it's $500,000, and we didn't put any money aside. So, we're looking
You
at,
plan on paying cash for both of these? You're gonna end up borrowing money, Jack. You can borrow money for one of these from USDA, guaranteed.
you know, you don't wanna, you just gonna, we're not,
It's $1 million between now and then, in 3
well,
years.
are we gonna come up with any of it? Are we just gonna sit here and wait until, and then next thing you know, we got a jack raise, how you gonna make the principal?
We'll get the air packs done, no problem.
Okay, I'm not worried about the air packs. You've convinced me you got the air packs covered.
We got the air pack.
As soon as you get the money for it, you're gonna stick it somewhere where we can't get our hands on it,
And
okay?
you've got a few more shekels where they're doing that, cost collection.
Right?
It ain't a whole lot.
I understand.
$15,000 a year.
Yeah, stick that in there until you get there, and then you'll free up the capital money. But let's
Everything
talk,
we do
so
will
let's
be for
talk
air
about the
packs.
fire truck.
550,000.
550,000, well, they ain't getting the damn pier, so
And they say 2020, same year as the air packs.
okay. So let's just say we gotta come up with $500,000. You just gonna just say, council, I gotta borrow $500,000, or we're gonna try to put some money away? Because
I don't think I can put much more away in the general fund. I just don't see it.
okay. Well, okay, here's my point.
Right.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we understand each other. So if you go, just roughly, if you go borrow $500,000, what's the debt service on that?
My
Just guess,
personal
guess,
opinion,
guess.
my personal opinion, we would receive grant monies for 50,000,
Okay,
and we would finance the difference through,
USDA,
because they
okay.
love a fire truck.
Mhm.
My expectation is that what we would do, and if you look at the garbage truck, or the, bucket truck, we said it was about a $3,000 payment on a 72, and that was for
Right.
178.
Mhm.
Triple that, so you're looking at almost $9,000 a month.
Okay, so my question is, where are you gonna get that $9,000 a month when we had to buy that truck?
I don't know. I have no
But
idea.
we need to find out. We need to find out right now.
Right at this point, I don't know.
Well, that's what you gotta figure out.
I haven't thought a thing about it now.
Because the reason I say that is, if it's a $9,000 payment, if you go and take it on right now, it could be a $5,500 payment. You get 3 years,
Let me
three.
get my lease payment chart, and I'll tell you exactly how we do it.
No, I don't want to do that. I want
You
you
don't
to.
wanna look at what we're
I
paying
want
off?
no. I want us to talk about a principle.
Alright.
A principle with not principal interest, but I'm talking about a concept. I want to get a concept straight.
You
Okay.
gotta raise some taxes, because there's no
Then
way I can
then
do both.
okay.
And what
I can't do
what
both.
have I been saying for 3, 4
Okay,
months?
but
5
my
months?
point is, it's just like what was very successful here, and you authored the, wait a minute, let me finish. You authored the plan, you said, hey, guess what? We're gonna have a big electric bus, it's gonna bust us wide open. Let me raise rates 3% now,
And
so,
profit.
so when it comes down the pike,
Yeah, hell, yeah.
I don't have to get killed. Well, what is the difference with doing it right now, because you sitting here saying you got air packs and you got a fire truck, and you're gonna take all your reserves to take care of the air packs. So why not go ahead and calculate and say, okay, then we need to get it to where we can manage a $5,000 a month payment. Okay? So how much money so this is what I want y'all to work on. Figure out a way to we can save up enough money to put down on this fire truck so you're at 4,000 or 5,000. Okay? And you'll probably come up with that you have to raise rates 2% today instead of 5% then. That's probably what you're gonna come up with. Does that make sense?
Let me ask a stupid question.
Okay.
Is the hope that we might get any more support from the county toward the fire department.
It's gonna take about 3 elections.
No.
It's gonna take 3 elections.
I would count on Christmas in July before I,
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
don't budget that.
Well, I'm just, you know.
No, it's gonna take 2 or 3 elections.
That's part of our major part of the cause of us being.
This is where our problem is. We're sitting here letting people beat us half to death about having to raise, and they go over to Nottaway and they won't let them open their damn mouth. And then when they talk to them, they don't, you know, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of having public hearings all the time during our meetings. I'm getting sick of that. I'm getting ready to be a tailhole about it. You follow me? But my point is, I don't, and it won't require much effort. I understand that. But what I'm gonna tell you is, until that group of people over there changes, they know that we won't allow their constituents to be without fire protection. They know we're good people. They know we are. And District 5 is getting robbed. They're the ones paying for county, the town is paying for county fire protection. So, but my whole point is, you got the air packs out of the way. You gotta set some money aside for that fire truck. Cause you ain't gonna be able,
But do we have to do both by 2020?
I don't know.
I don't think you're obligated to do it. I mean, sooner or later, you can also say, we just need more.
All right,
time."
well, let me ask you this. If you put $100,000 a year aside right now for the fire truck, when the fire truck comes due, wouldn't that be nice just to pay for the damn thing? Okay? Instead of having to go out and borrow $500,000?
Yeah, I'd look paying cash.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then maybe we need to tell them, hey, guess what? We're gonna get you air packs in 2020, and we're gonna get you a fire truck in 2022.
I wouldn't commit it just in case there's a.
Well, that's our plan. Our plan.
Is to do that, yeah.
So some kind of way you got to bake $100,000 debt service into this budget. If you don't, you ain't gonna be able to do it.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll come back to you.
Do you have any? Do you disagree with me?
No, not really. I just wish we could have had this conversation 5 years ago.
Well, I know it's nice. I know fellas, we want to come to council and say I've handled all this stuff and there's no increases and and blah blah. But sooner or later somebody got to stand up. Somebody got to man
You
up.
got to pay the piper sometime.
Sometime.
But I think at the same time, you can also sit back and say, we can't be everything for everybody all the time.
Okay.
But
We've
we've
got to sit
tried
back
to
and
be,
look at
that's,
some of that
that's,
stuff.
we are where we are because we told everybody, we are everybody's sweetheart and we
Okay.
don't worry about it, we
Okay.
don't have.
Okay. Well,
Fire
then
truck.
what you just said, then that's fine. You tell the fire truck they got to come up with their own damn fire truck.
No, I don't think that's
Well, then
necessarily-
which are you saying?
I think you-
Are you not going to have to buy a fire truck in the next 5 years?
I don't think you're obligated to do anything.
Are you
The truck
gonna?
works. What's wrong with the truck?
Okay.
It's just old.
All right.
It's old. It runs every time it goes out. And I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying you don't have to buy it in 2020. That's $1 million.
Well, we're not gonna buy it in 2020.
There you go.
I'm thinking 2022 is
Just
at a
keep
minimum.
it.
At a minimum.
We do the best we can.
Well, that's really what we've been doing.
Well, you bought that tanker. And do you need to spend $550,000?
Well, now,
Well, now
that's a whole other.
that's a
part.
whole
Hey.
damn.
And
Hey,
I'm not sure the fire department is completely convinced that they need a Pierce anymore. Pierce is the Cadillac. That's a good
Well-
truck. It's a great truck.
I think Sam and I are gonna scrutinize.
Are there some other options out there
Yeah.
that are just as good?
But at any rate,
If you can live without a John Deere and get a Kubota, they can live without a goddamn.
You know the deal.
Spear.
I mean, a Kubota gas is 30,000. I think the diesel does run it better, and I think it's 35,000 or something like that. And then the John Deeres go up from there.
And there's plenty of people proud to have a Kubota.
I got one in my house. One is beautiful. Never had a
I
problem.
like my deer.
Well,
I don't want to say that.
I'm fortunate enough I got both. I own 3 acres of land and got 2 tractors.
We'll figure it out. And
got a 2-tractor garage.
I swear.
let me check the debt service on that existing fire truck, please.
Okay.
Let me see when it expires.
Okay.
Because we are paying for the 2 new police cars this year with the expiration. In fact, I got the notice that loan is closed.
Okay.
Hang on one second.
All right. I'm not,
Man,
I
I
ain't,
think we're making some headway.
I ain't backing down.
I think we're making
All right.
an imprint.
I'm not backing down.
And one of the reasons we are is because,
Mhm.
and there's no audio on that.
But there's cameras in that place.
Well, I mean, no audio.
Well, I don't wanna do it. My biggest fear is that we are faced with a situation where we can't handle, which is Pickett. I can tell you right now, we're not gonna be able to handle that. I don't know what's gonna happen when that day comes. I still like my idea, go ahead and budget for 4 men and 2 pieces of equipment and tell them, you're lucky, you just got a career, you know?
The leak guys?
No, I'm talking about the water and sewer guys out there at Pickett. You know, that's probably the only way we'll ever be able to do it ourselves.
We paid off the 2 police cars. The garbage truck is dead and paid off in 2020. I know you don't want to use general fund money, but it is going to free up $1,500 a month. We got 2 of the police cars. That's a 2019 payoff, and the fire truck, sadly, is 2024. So the fire truck
Well,
is a $1,200 a month payment because we got smoking good interest rate, 3%, 3.1%.
you talking about so
The
we're,
one you just bought, that tanker truck,
yeah.
it is, the loan portion is paid off.
And
we
that's
paid-
coming out of general fund. That's got to. Yeah,
It's coming out of general fund.
Yeah, it's coming out of general fund.
And 2024 is when that one paid off. And then the truck they just bought, that command vehicle, 2021. That's only $300 a month.
Well, that thing they were driving, it was getting to the point you wouldn't be able to get parts for it.
With that old, it's an 85.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
It's not a brand new one, but you.
I don't think